Wars 3 times now, The Force Awakens. And, like Randy, I saw when I was 5, the original Star Wars in the theater. And I'll tell you this.
Were you drunk?
No, I wasn't drunk.
No.
Yeah, I was drunk with, sheer, cinema. Here's the thing. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of haters out there who are really on top of Star Wars for, pulling parts from the other film, from especially 4, 5, and 6, and sort of kind of it being a rehash. You know what? Here's the thing. I really did not like the prequels at all. They're unwatchable to me, and it was just a pleasure seeing a movie that felt like a Star Wars film. I really loved the main characters, and I enjoyed the story. And now seeing it 3 times, it got better every time. And I'm just so pleased to have Star Wars back in my life because I promised myself I wouldn't fall in love again, and I'm glad I did this time. Okay, my top 2.
Yeah, and it was when Han Solo died. That was funny.
No spoilers. Come on, dude.
Oh, come on, everyone's seen it by now.
I know, but
come on.
Spoiler free. Okay.
What? Come on.
Getting to my top 2, and this was tough because this was sort of, to me, they're almost on equal footing. But my number 2 is going to go to Ex Machina, which is Alex Garland's film. I think I really feel this is seriously one of the best science fiction films ever made. Just a great story, great performances. It's it brings out the best of what's great about science fiction. Just telling, very thematically driven story and about what sort of defines humanity. If you haven't seen it, Alicia Vikander is a real star in the making. She's the one who plays a robot, a very sexy robot, I might add. Just a terrific film. Can't recommend it enough. Which brings me to my top.
I was going to ask a question on
the
that sci-fi movie. So
sure.
Is that like, because I don't quite understand how they categorize science fiction, but would that be more like soft core science fiction or like hard, or is there a difference?
Well, Star Wars is more like science fantasy. That's more like science fantasy, where you're bringing in sort of magical elements, and it's not when you're talking about hard science fiction. And Ex Machina is definitely hard science fiction.
It's like
it's
technology.
It's really where technology plays.
The Martian.
Where technology plays a very specific and important role in the film. Anytime you get into sort of like, spaceships or things that are sort of beyond what we can explain with science, and it sort of veers into the soft sci-fi fantasy kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so drum roll, please.
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Okay, and I've been saying this all year. All year I've been saying this is my favorite film of the year. No, it's not a shocker.
No, I bet it is.
It's gotten 10 Oscar nominations. You probably know what it is by now. Mad Max, Fury Road.
I saw that one.
Yeah,
again with you.
Simply an amazing action film, but just an amazing film just from top to bottom. And those who say that the film is too simplistic in its storytelling really didn't get the point of this film. It is not just about action. It is really, just great characters, great moments, just impressive on every level. And I'm glad that it's getting the acclaim that it so deserves. And I really wish that George Miller would win Best Director for this, but I don't think he's going to. But just the fact that it got 10 nominations feels like vindication to me, because the minute I saw that movie, I said, this is the best movie I've seen this year, and it really is one of the best action films in a long time.
And I think Fury Road really kind of exemplifies and illustrates the Republican vision for the future.
Limited resources, a few people on the top.
Yeah.
Everybody else, beggars.
Yeah.
Slaves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was the best action movie of the year. I could, follow it. Things had consequence. Like with so many of the superhero movies, they're punching each other through brick walls. Nobody ever really gets hurt. And so you don't know when's somebody going to ever die. In this movie, somebody, gets run over. They're dead. They're out of the picture.
You like to see people get hurt.
I like that. If you're not going to get hurt, what's the point?
Yeah.
So Jim, what was your favorite film?
Spotlight.
Oh, Spotlight. Yeah, I have my list of honorable mentions. Spotlight is amazing. It's the closest thing I've seen to All the President's Men.
Yeah. It's a really great how they're breaking the silence and trying to figure out.
Is that a political movie, Spotlight?
Well, it's actually about the.
That's the pedophiles.
Yeah. Police, the priest molestation scandal in Boston specifically, and how the Boston Globe breaks the story, and
is it pretty hot? Is it? No.
It's a remarkable.
Is there some steamy scenes in it? That's
it's your kind of movie. It's your kind of movie. It's and very powerful at the end. That was a great movie. The Big Short similarly has an ensemble cast trying to tell you this big picture. Obviously, it's a much more of a fun movie.
Wasn't it weird watching a movie that had the same title as the nickname for your penis? That was, I think it was not a date movie at that point. Probably.
I enjoyed the previous movie, Aluminum Can. So no, The Big Short was you'd enjoy it if you saw it.
Would I?
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
Absolutely.
If you compared that to a movie I haven't seen, just on principle, I didn't go see, or have I watched the
Wolf of Wall Street? Similar film, sort of in tone. I mean, they are kind of similar films, but I think.
Yeah, they're both about the excess of Wall Street.
Yeah.
But the Big Short is actually trying to anger you about the banking scam, how nobody's accountable. These guys all tell people, this is safe, this is secure. And meanwhile, when it fails, it's the consumer, it's the mortgage holders that suffered and lost their houses and everything. And
Joe really stole the film for me, which really surprised me, was Steve Carell.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, I thought he was really fantastic, and I really felt like he was the heart of the movie. And
you're right.
It surprised me at how I just completely forgot about all his comedy. Background. It's like, to me, I really accepted him in that movie as a very strong dramatic actor.
And Christian
Bale.
Bale is great as this very sort of probably Asperger's or on the spectrum kind of guy who figures out that, okay, I've been investing in these stocks. Now I'm going to invest in and basically bet that these mortgages are going to fail. And a couple other movies I think worth noting this year that are worth seeing is Beasts of No Nations. If you haven't seen that, it's devastating to watch. It's one of those things you have to be in the mood. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original film. Idris Elba is in it. It's one of those movies which, after I finished watching, I felt so depressed and tired and exhausted, but it's worth watching. I mean, it's an amazing film. I think Concussion was really great. It was nice to see Will Smith actually acting again, giving a strong performance. It's funny in the trailers, you're really like, wow, is that accent going to bother me after a while? And it didn't. It actually, he felt genuine. And I think Trumbo is worth really enjoyed that movie.
Really, I mean, Bryan Cranston. I mean, boy, that guy can do no wrong.
That was good. I saw Trumbo.
And what's great about that is it's not just here's these guys that are going to be blacklisted, but one guy who's figuring out how am I going to survive and how am I going to destroy these people, destroy basically this blacklist, and you got to watch the movie to see if he succeeds. Yeah,
no, it's great. But, good year for film people. I mean, good year. I mean, let's not get down on movies. I think they really do provide, some quality entertainment.
I also really liked Brooklyn.
I didn't see that.
Which is about an Irish woman who comes to America and then goes back and has to try to figure out where she's going to be. Room, which, like Spotlight, when I watched Spotlight, I coincidentally watched on Netflix Call Me Lucky, which partly involves a true story. It is a true story, but it's about Barry Crimmins, and one of the things that happened to Barry Crimmins was he was molested.
Oh, I would love to see that.
But what's weird is that you watch Spotlight, and at one point there's a guy who is molested by a priest who says, hey, convinces him to go out for ice cream. And then I'm watching Call Me Lucky, and the priest attempts to get him to, that he already hated, tries to get him to go out for ice cream. And I'm like, don't go, and he doesn't go.
Yeah, that's a Bobcat film.
That's right. Yeah. And so anyway, that was sort of a double whammy of depression to watch those two movies at the same time. Then I watched Room, and Room is about a young woman who's been kidnapped and then becomes a mother and is raising this boy in the room that she's held captive in. I had just watched the night before on Netflix Wolfpack, which is about 7 kids, 6 boys and a girl, who are raised in, this is a true story documentary, raised in an apartment in New York and basically never allowed to leave.
Yeah. And don't they learn about the world through television?
Yes.
And God, I wanted to see that film, and I'm glad to hear that's on Netflix. I'm definitely going to watch that.
And so as you're watching Room, you're realizing, this is going to affect her for a long period of time. Anyway, great movie. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we have missed. Carl also is a movie reviewer. And have we missed any movies that you thought were great?
Room was my number 2 movie. Number 1 for me, except I don't know if there's any way to really appreciate it outside of 3D IMAX, but the movie that blew me away the most was The Walk. And that got buried this fall because it was they told everybody see it on 3D IMAX. It was the telling of a true story of the guy that walked on a tightrope between the World Trade Centers in 1972 or 4. And Robert Zemeckis did it. It's an amazing movie, but they use this 3D IMAX technology to make you feel like you are right there on a tightrope, hanging in midair with the wind going past you. And oh my God! And like 30, I counted like 30 people ran out of the preview I was in, ready to barf. It was awesome, but the movie was great.
How did it compare to Man on Wire? Because I've seen the documentary, which I love the documentary. I was really reticent about seeing The Walk because what I understood is that it really was just about that sequence.
No, it wasn't. It was that's the thing that surprised me. I thought it was going to be all about that. And the first half hour, it's like 3 movies in one, and they were all great. The first half hour or so is the guy growing up and learning how to do all these crazy tricks because he can't do anything else. Like he's a bad student, etc. And so, but the effects. I mean, the way the 3D. It was just palpable, like so much better than anybody's ever done it. Like him learning how to juggle like bowling pins, and the pins feel like they're right there, falling into your hands. I mean, it just was amazing. And then the second and third is set up like a heist, like as they're trying to figure out how do we scam our way into these high security buildings. And then the last third is the amazing walk, and I just was enraptured the entire time. And everybody was, and I thought it was going to be a monster. And the problem was the week before Everest came out, and that was eating a lot of 3D IMAX screens. And 2 weeks later, The Martian came out. So this had a very quick opportunity. And the studio had said so much about see it in 3D IMAX that when it lost all these screens to The Martian and went just to 2D, nobody cared because the studio had made it sound like it was an event. And that was the analysis that a site called Deadline.com gave it, the leading news site, I'd say, for the movies. And, so it just got eaten by bad timing. It's a really great movie, though. I don't know if it'll hold up in 2D, really.
Wow. It's completely been forgotten about, I think, in terms of... And
I don't know how it was nominated for awards. It was so well done.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Are you still here?
Yeah.
Who let Randy back in the studio?
He's hiding behind his papers.
So this is January 14th. Which was day 84 of a runaway natural gas leak above Los Angeles that has emitted more than 150 million pounds of methane, described as the nation's biggest environmental disaster since the BP oil spill.
Wow.
But go see a fucking movie, people.
I knew whatever he was going to chime in with was basically going to be like, fuck you, superficial movie.
I'm going to go buy the rights to that disaster.
Nearly 3,000 families in the community of Porter Ranch have been relocated into temporary housing. But hey, that fucking Avengers movie was awesome.
Hey,
California Governor Jerry Brown declared a state of emergency in the area last week. Methane, yeah. But fucking Wire almost made me barf.
So
anyway,
so let me just get this straight. Hey, Randy, do you have anybody to be a guest? Yeah, one of my best friends, Paul J. Salamoff, who loves going to movies. So I'll invite him on the show.
Who's a writer, director,
and then I'll crap on his interests, what he does.
We need to be distracted.
Okay.
I mean, we have to.
All right. Yes, you're right.
I'm just worried that those fries are going to cause a methane disaster here, Randy.
Yeah. Look out.
And to think I invited you to Carol.
I know. Like the one, I'm always in for that.
Wasn't
too.
that overrated? I think.
Worst porn ever.
I liked it.
You know, and here's the thing. I thought it was too much Oscar bait for me.
Yes.
It's really amazing performances.